Got a new subscriber. Oh, maybe that was me. Trying to load it, but I'm getting nothing on my end. Is it? Huh. I'm not even seeing anything on the channel. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm just seeing a little D in a little circle, Dr. Dave MC, and that's it. I'm not seeing anything. Mhm. It is, huh. I'm just logging into my StreamYard account real quick to see if there's a smooth way to do it from there. And I didn't realize that Google bought StreamYard. Yeah, so 2-1. Let me just see. Okay, let me just tell you right now. Um, I'm still not seeing anything on the YouTube for you, but my it kind of depends on what I'm down to do whatever you want to do. Just so you know, my StreamYard account is still connected to my YouTube account. So if we wanted to do something and just get live on YouTube for everyone right now, we could do it on mine, or we could keep messing with it. Whatever you want to do, I'm just giving you that option. Hmm. Sorry, dude. This kind of thing always happens. That's so weird. Is it just because of the extra camera, you think, or something? 'Cause we could also just do it where you just hold up the artifacts for now. No, you're not frozen. Oh, the stream. Yeah, the stream doesn't even appear for me at all. There's no, it's youtube.com/ Dr. Dave MC, right? And with the underscore. Yeah, your page just says this channel doesn't have any content. Is it is it a private channel? Am I on the wrong channel? Can't imagine. Dr. Dave MC. Is it on YouTube? Oh, are you on like David Verbal channel? No? Yeah, this is like this must be the wrong channel. So what is this? Dr. Dave MC. That's wild. Um, okay. Maybe people are watching us and our people viewing our technical difficulties. No, it takes me to the same place on my Mozilla. I needed to put the at in front of your name. It wasn't doing that for me. Now I'm there. All right, live. There we are. Yeah, dope. Yeah, you're definitely behind. I'm behind. I'm sure folks are like, what is going on? Yeah, and I can see your chat. Oh wow, I'm way behind on the screen. Yeah. But that doesn't surprise me. I think the question is whether the the output is gonna lag as long as it doesn't lag for us talking. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think we're actually pretty good. You stop the stream? I'm just looking at the chat. I'm gonna hold on. No, there's no audio for you.
Oh, okay. You know,
I'm I'm gonna hold on. No, there's no audio for you. Okay, so there's definitely
yeah,
audio. Oh, now your audio is coming up a little bit.
got you. All right.
There's
Yeah,
no delay on the delay is whole for all of us, but there's no delay between us. So
got you,
I think we're good.
got you. Thank y'all for hanging with us while we figure this out, yo. This
Now
is
you
like this is a journey. We're out here on this journey, DJ and Head. Yeah, so welcome everybody. We'll keep this mad short. Now that we've been getting it in on this these technical difficulties. But welcome to the first live from the archives. We're out here.
live from the archives. I think your volume still needs to come up a bit.
Volume still needs to come up a bit. All
Yeah.
right.
Or mine needs to go down.
Nah. Am I a little better there?
I'm testing it out.
Hopefully, I should be good.
Live from the archives. I think your volume still needs to come up a bit. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
mine needs to go down. Hold on.
Nah. Am I a little better there?
I'm testing it out. You're better. You're better. I'm still louder than you, but let's just go for it.
Yeah. I could turn it down here too. Yeah, I was trying to keep it simple. I just went with the AirPods, and I will not do that next time. I'm not doing that next time. All right, so let's just jump in, man. I grabbed a couple of joints, and
Yes.
as you said, I'll just hold the joints up. Hopefully that'll make it a little simpler We won't have to deal with the document camera. And plus, I'm not even sure you can see the document camera, Ian, and that's not the
Right now I can't,
yeah.
so let's not worry
We're
about it.
not even going to go into it. So we're going to talk about a couple of artifacts from the 1960s. And what we have here are two documents related to race from the mid 1960s. And this is something that you and I actually talked about before. I don't know if I ever had a chance to show you. So these are the two documents. One is this is the position and progress of Black America, some pertinent statistics. And this is Thomas Meyer, Dr. Thomas Meyer. He was at the time a professor at University of Michigan. And it's just mad dope. You see he's got the Black
Yeah,
Panther there
got
holding
the
it
original
down,
Black Panther. Yeah.
right? Yep. And then the other document is how classroom segregation works. And this is a document from Henry Garrett. This one doesn't have a specific date. The position of progress of Black America, that one's 67. This one is mid 60s. And I want to shout out the homies over at Walnut Street Paper. They're the booksellers that I got these documents from. And so they did the basic research that we're referencing. Just all the booksellers, man, they do so much incredible research. It's so critical. Like, one, so I know what I'm buying, but then also it's the foundation that I build off of. And the reason why I wanted to talk about these two documents is, one, they're telling very different stories. How the cameras work, Ian. I don't know.
I think it's great. This is
Yeah.
I'm getting the full picture.
Yeah.
And these are like classic 60s style
Yep.
paper pamphlets.
Yep.
This is like the pre-internet, like print up your
Yes.
pamphlets, get it out there, let people know your thoughts, your philosophies,
Yep.
etc.
So what struck me about these two, so let's take a look inside the position and progress of Black America. Again, this is University of Michigan, sociologist Dr. Tom Meyer, and he's just showing all kinds of data that kind of tell the story of what the state of Black America is. And what really struck me as I was flipping through this is my man is just coming with so many charts, just
Yeah.
so many charts, right? So to paint the picture of what is happening with Black America, he's got the data, right?
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Dr. Henry E. Garrett, eugenicist, segregationalist, racist,
Hmm.
right? Like, at one point in time, he was head of the American Psychological. Is that what it? Let me see how the homies come through. Shout out again, Walnut Paper. Yeah, the American Psychological Association. I think in the 1940s, he was head. Um, Very much strongly believed that Black people were inherently inferior, particularly intellectually inferior, and very much concerned with segregation and how that was going to hinder what was
Hmm.
happening with white students if segregation or if desegregation actually happened. And what really struck me, and again, this is like a really, really, really kind of surface analysis, but as I just was flipping through, my man is just talking,
Yeah.
right? There is no data, and I
He's
mean,
pontificating.
he's pontificating, right? Lots of quotes and just like really random. I don't think that's fair necessarily to say random, but as we know from research before going back to the 1940s, there's no scientific basis to the idea that there's any differences in race, right? There's
Yeah.
no sound scientific evidence. And one is striking that you have a person who represents science. And I know there's some people who might debate whether psychology really counts as science. Um, but a person who represents, the academic elite in some ways. Um, and he was at, where was he? He was at the University of, was it, he was at Columbia, I believe. Anywhere, at some point he got booted out and he ended up in Virginia, I think is right. And the technical difficulties, I don't have my details right. But in any event, his like pro segregation views were really starting to cause a lot of issues. People were starting to recognize that he was kind of a clown, but he's still able to get his message out. He's still
Mhm.
able to utilize the status that he had gained with his previous roles, particularly as president of the head of the American Psychological Association. And when I first spoke to you about it, one thing that you said that really struck me was that in your work um, with, particularly with cops and bringing police officers, and you could talk a little bit more about your work in the context of this, how, when you're fighting against things like stop and frisk, there's all these data that you have, all this information that is very detailed and very particular, and then the cops are just like, no, it's safer. And
Yeah,
like there's just
exactly.
no, yeah,
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 yeah. And I think on top of the fact that what the presentation of these two pamphlets, it strikes me in a couple ways. It strikes me what you just said, my previous reaction,
yeah.
um, probably when we were walking in the streets of Manhattan or Queens or Brooklyn at some point in the last couple
Hmm.
of years. Um, and and also the fact that data obviously is important, especially for someone like you, a scientist. Um, but for uh, black scientists talking about how racism is happening, it's like you must have reams of data. I mean, you opened up that
Hmm.
pamphlet and there was all
Hmm.
those statistics and all these charts and all this data, and like we got to fit all this data in here. While if you're kind of aligned, you're white, you're aligned with kind of the white
Yeah. This
the
is even the
white
back page. This is like the back
exactly
cover. Like my man is doing everything he can to get all the data on here that he possibly
exactly
can. Yeah. To prove your
exactly.
point. Yeah.
But if you're white and you're aligned with the power structures, let's just keep the powerful narrative, and let's just
Yep.
like write some random well, not ran like you said, it's not random, but write some narratives based in either fiction, lies, or
Hmm.
like very um cliche kinds
Yeah.
of narratives that feed into whatever like kind of racist
Yep.
um uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's interesting how these lives kind of live outside of academia, almost in like the more social spaces or where those lives really kind of thrive.
Hmm.
Because this is like more of a general, and in fact, it's not even academic press. It's the Patrick Henry Press
Hmm.
that was based in Richmond, Virginia. And looking at his some of his like I was on the Wikipedia page, which is always a good place to start. I mean, I'm not suggesting that that's like the utmost source, but um, you go there and you see like they're publishing other really racist works,
Hmm.
and so but it exists outside of academia, although his prestige comes with him outside of academia. Um, and because it's outside of academia, because it's in like kind of popular culture, it can reproduce itself like without any kind of pushback or anything like that. And then also one other thing that really struck me about Tom Meyer, and he's a white guy, and I got some sense that he's Jewish, but I'm not sure. Not that I think that really matters that much, but the information that I got was based on his work in being his anti-war work during Vietnam at the University of Michigan. And it's kind of striking that in the middle of that work, so he was at Michigan from 64 to 69. And during that time, he was doing a lot of anti-war work. And in the midst of that work, he's doing this work on the position and progress of Black America. And I'm sure, I think Dr. Meyer is still alive. I'm sure he could be more sophisticated in drawing those connections between the two. Like, and I know that your work. I mean, it seems like you know all of these things are interconnected, right? And it's important that the people who are asking questions or pushing back on war are also speaking about the nature of Black people's lives in America, right? Like
Hmm.
the same reasons that you're concerned about the well-being of American kids in Vietnam or Vietnamese kids, like all of the human beings that are impacted by the war. You're also concerned about the well-being of human beings that are here in America. Um, and this dude over here, my man Henry Garrett, he's really only concerned with white people, and that's always been his
Exactly.
mode. right? It's always been his mode as a eugenicist. And as we continue through this series, man, the eugenicists they continue to pop up, and it's interesting how they pop up. One, without facts, like because the facts. I mean, even going back to the 1940s, 1920s, like there's data that says like now there's no difference between the races, and these eugenicists just keep coming up with batshit stuff to kind of push their message out. So yeah, just a quick look. I mean, this is a kind of a test run. A couple of documents that I bought at the same time. And again, I'm just going to keep shouting them out. I hope people, one of the things I hope this series does is shows people like these documents are available. Sources are available. If you're curious about these moments in history, if you're curious about these subjects, there's places like Walnut Street Paper that collect these artifacts, do the work ahead of time. Like they are so fantastic at figuring out what are the pieces that matter or that we would want to look at. Um, and so I saw these at the same time at their table, and just thinking about these moments where you have these ideas that are kind of clashing, so to speak. And really, I think that's one of the main things I want to get at is that we kind of assume, like you'll hear people say things like, oh, slavery, that's just the way it was back then, or
Hmm.
Jim Crow, that's just the way it was back then. But there's always been competing ideas. There's always been pushback. And the questions are like, what happens to that pushback?
Yep.
And how is it that the people with no data, with no facts, keep winning, right? Or are able to maintain their position in power. Um, so yeah, I mean, we don't want to keep people too long, especially after all of the technical difficulties, and we'll keep working on that. Any closing thoughts, DJ Ian, here before we bounce out?
I just think just to back up maybe a bit, since we were consumed with technical difficulties, um, maybe just if you wanted to, and apologies if we've already done this on your channel earlier, but just give a quick summary of these amazing like artifacts that you've been collecting for how long and
Oh
for
yeah,
like what we're going to get in. I mean, you've given some preview of what we're going to get into, but
sure.
we've been, I'll just say from my perspective, whenever we hang out, which is like
Hmm.
once or twice a year since we're on different coasts,
Hmm.
um, we will have these long talks on subway rides, walking down the street, whatever it might be, where you're telling me about these incredible artifacts that generate conversations about like race, class, gender, and like history and present day and all of the stuff that we've kind of been touching on for the last 10
Yeah.
minutes. And it's just, I just want to, yeah, like,
Yeah, this is such a great question. Thank you for asking it. So my research in the beginning, I just was studying the history of museums and their programs with schools. And the tough things with museums, particularly with their education programs, is it's like pamphlets and stuff that just it's called ephemera, right? And it's stuff that just kind of comes and goes. And I've worked in museums. I know that there's boxes of these things that are just in the back, and so I just started trying to find those documents, right? So I'm on eBay just looking for it, and it was really fruitful. But as I'm continuing my studies and I'm realizing, man, like I'm looking at these museums and corporations sure are using these museums a lot. Um, and then I would ask, well, if they're saying this in a museum, what are they saying in other spaces? So that started leading me to advertising. And then also the world's fairs and exhibitions that kind of fed into the science museums. I'm like, okay, well, what's happening at these world fair and exhibitions? And you start seeing names, you start seeing corporations, you start seeing kind of power structures that are in all of these different spaces. And and then I have ADHD. I just I found this out. So my natural inclination is to kind of rabbit hole with this stuff, and so I'll find another pathway, and I'm always like, well, what's down that pathway? And then I think and our friendship really goes back to being crate diggers, looking for records, and as much as we're looking for what we know we want to look for, we always find stuff that we weren't looking for. You always find something that's like, man, what is that? I'm curious about this. And it's the exact same way with these artifacts, man. I'll be looking for one thing and then I'll see something else. Like I 100% was not going to look for
Hmm.
how desegregation is going to work. This was not in my mind frame at all. But when people like Walnut Street Press, do this kind of work, or Walnut Street Paper, sorry, I keep calling it the wrong thing, Walnut Street Paper, do this work and they pick this stuff up, and I'm like, oh, and I read their descriptions, like, okay, this has value. So that really kind of tells the story of what's in my collections, right? Like it's a lot of museum stuff, World's Fair stuff. There's corporate advertising, um, and just lots of stories that exist at the intersection of science, technology, race, climate, power,
Yeah.
money, right? And it might seem like this is far afield, but as we'll find out in some other documents, climate is really the foundation of white supremacy, like in terms of the I'm going to use the word pseudoscience. I don't like the word pseudoscience, which is a whole other subject, but the lies that they tell are rested on a misinterpretation of climate science. I guess is a good way to put it, right?
Hmm.
They look
Hmm.
at climate and come up with a bunch of bullshit based on that. And
Hmm.
I think that's our society in a nutshell, right? And now, like how do we build a bunch of bullshit on top of this? And in addition to being a good friend, your work, like, and kind of justice broadly, you've always had like an appreciation for the fact that I'm asking these questions. Um, but I love that you're outside of this as an academic space. And so what resonates with you is always a good sign of, okay, this is probably something I should keep investigating. You know what I mean? Because if this, I'm like kind of cool on the echo chamber. I don't
Well,
I don't want to be in that academic echo chamber. I want to be able to share these with people. And so, you've always been one willing to listen and then giving me strong feedback, even when you didn't intend to. So I'm really grateful that you're doing this with me. And of course, I'm going to say you would never say it, but this was your idea. Totally, you're like, let's just do it. I'll do it with you. I'll do it with you.
this is your idea. I'm just
Yeah, but
excited about making it happen.
yeah,
So let's just
yeah,
make it happen. We'll
yep,
keep making it happen.
yep. All
Yep.
right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us for this first. We'll tighten up the technology, but super grateful for everybody to stop through and check it out with us. Um, yeah. Any final thoughts? Any final words, Ian had?
No, let's just get maybe some promotion out there in the coming weeks.
Yep,
And yeah,
yep,
stay
yep,
with us. Yeah.
yep. Just the first foray. First
Yeah.
foray. All right, everybody. Much love. Peace.
Cool. Peace.
I'm trying to find the button to stop streaming. Boom.